For Off the Block, I'm Van Lipson. We are now joined by Lincoln Memorial head coach Dan Danis after his team got their first victory in program history. The first-year program knocked off Alderson Brothers in 5 games today, their first home match. And Coach, pretty impressive performance for you guys. What's that feeling like being able, after a year of work, being able to get that first win in your program's history?
Well, for starters, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on with you and be able to discuss volleyball. Men's volleyball, and also our prestigious university, Lincoln Memorial. It's a nice win for us, that's for sure. Our past 2 matches with King and Lees McRae, we learned a lot about ourselves and what we can do and cannot do. And just from the short turnaround from Friday night at Lees McRae, we implemented a lot of things and worked on a lot of things. And it all culminated today in a nice big victory in front of our home crowd at LMU.
Yeah. And Coach, looking at the match, you had 3 players finish with double-digit kills, another one with 9. Is this the type of offense that you're hoping to run this season, a real balanced offense?
Well, we do like to, my philosophy is go through the middles as first to open up the pins, but Alderson Brothers did a nice little job of pretty much shutting that down. I do like to be able to spread the ball around, and one of the adjustments that we made from the past 2 games is slowing our offense down because it's just a little too quick to the pins for our guys at the moment. But, we do like to spread the ball around and keep the defense on their toes in regards to, who's going to get the ball. And, there's a period in the game where somebody's hot, we start feeding the hot hands.
Yeah. Now, I do want to talk about the 5th set a little bit. Kind of an interesting moment. You guys are up 14-12. ABU's able to rally back, make it 14-14, but you guys get the next 2 points to win. What do you feel that says about your team that you guys are able to rally back after not being able to close out, but finding that way to win when it's tied?
Well, our team motto is trust the process, and since all the guys reported to campus in the fall, we've just been harping on that, and that is an absolute pivotal moment in the guys just trusting the process. As long as they take care of what they need to do, worry about our side of the net, and the little things, it'll happen, it'll come through for us. And again, credit to those guys for just sticking in there and not letting the moments get too heavy, and the pressure of having to close out the match, our first match. Home match and win. And so credit to them on the guys on the court for doing what they did to get that big win for us today.
Yeah. And Coach, I want to ask, looking big picture for your program, it's the first year. What do you feel as a coach you're going to consider a success in April if you're able to accomplish?
Success in April? Well, at the beginning of the season, we set some very, very lofty goals. I'm probably one of the most competitive guys out there. I know there's a bunch of other ones out there, especially the coaches at our level. But I am the most. I still, when I'm not coaching in downtime, I like to play myself. And so, like I said, some of the lofty goal that we put in there is, we want to try to finish 500. And for a first year program, that's not easy to achieve. But the way we look at it, shoot for the stars. If you miss, at least you land on the moon. So that's something that we're really looking at. We're playing in the IBA Invitational Tournament at the end of the season, what that Coker is hosting. My buddy over there, Eric Snyder, has put together, and looking forward to playing in that tournament. And we want to compete in that tournament also. We just want to go and show up. We want to try to win that tournament. So there's a lot of things. Promising future for LMU men's volleyball, especially down the road. Hopefully have a good enough season to where we can get a conference invite from one of the nearby conferences in our area, so that way we go from being an independent to whatever that is, and have a chance to actually play hopefully someday down the road, compete for a conference tournament to get a bid to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Now, Coach, some of the volleyball community was able to see a couple of your first matches that were streamed live online, but some people may not have seen your team. So for those who haven't, can you just describe kind of the play of your team and the character of your team?
Well, we are a young team. Something that I really tried to work on during the first couple of months of being hired is I went out west for 2 weeks, and I really worked in the JUCO area in the Southern California with all those guys. I was pretty fortunate enough to get a couple of junior college transfers that graduated in the spring to come on out and help us out for some senior leadership. I was able to pick up a graduate student, graduated from Grand Canyon. He's got here. He's helping us out. And so I got some guys, older guys, juniors and seniors, and a sophomore transfer who's have some experience to lead my young team. And so we know our team, you know, if you look at the roster, it's half California, half Florida with an Arizona guy and a Louisiana guy sprinkled in there. And, you know, it's a bunch of good guys that just really, really want to get better and also help put Lincoln Memorial's name out there. And on top of that, you know, just want to do something bigger than themselves. And that's why they came to LMU, to help grow the program, so that way when they leave in 2 to 4 years, when they graduate, they can look back in 5, 10, 15 years and see some of the things that these guys are doing at the time and look back and say, you know what, we started those traditions, we started that legacy. And so, you know, it's a special group of guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, and Coach, one player in particular for you, Cory Evans, he's been leading your team in kills, led you guys today. Can you just talk a little bit about his play on the court and what he's been able to do to be so successful offensively at the start of the season?
Well, it's funny because, you know, Evan Cory is a good kid, a smart kid, one of the smartest guys on the team. He just finished up this past fall semester with a 4.0 GPA. And he's a guy that whenever I do talk about the team, he's always brought up. And I don't want to talk about him too much because I don't want his head getting big. But again, he's a good guy. He's a humble dude, and I really love the kid. But he's for lack of you know, it's an understatement. The kid's a freak. He's a heck of an athlete. He gets real big. He's a beach player that's come out, plays indoors, you know, club indoor for about the past 2 to 3 years. But the guy's a beach player through and through, so he's really good defensively. He sees a hitter's arm swing really well, and he sees the block really well. And on top of that, he's a lefty, and we all know how lefties are just a little, you know, they're a special creature on the volleyball court. So, you know, he's just a really good, talented kid who really ups the level of our play and makes that right side pretty sweet for us.
Yeah. Well, besides him, you know, 3 games into the season, who's been maybe 1 or 2 of the other players who's pleasantly surprised you on the court?
So, my transfer student, my graduate student who's come over from Grand Canyon, he graduated from there. He's a guy that's coming in. He's somebody that I really do appreciate because he's typically an outside hitter. He's played at other universities, and he's coming in. He's helping us out at the middle position, and you know, not typically a middle. Hasn't played middle in years. And he is just putting in the work. He shows up to practice every day. He's wanting to get better. He's asking, how can you do this better? How can you do that better? Constantly asking for feedback. And on top of that, he's one of the older guys on the team, and so he's a team leader also in that aspect because, you know, he's been there, he's done that. He's played for Rutgers Newark. When they made a nice little trip to the NCAA tournament, they went pretty far into it. So he has that leadership that I'm looking for a young team to basically, you know, he's been there and done that. And that's somebody else on the team that's really clutch for us.
Yeah. All right, Coach, and final question. We'll let you go on this. You know, probably most of the volleyball community has never been to Lincoln Memorial. So can you just give us a little bit of kind of the vibe of the school and, you know, what makes Lincoln Memorial so great?
Lincoln Memorial, you know, the area that we're in it's a beautiful area. It's situated in the East Tennessee area, the mountainous area, about probably an hour 15, hour 25 from Knoxville, right there on the Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia border. You know, and the campus of itself is just beautiful. It's amazing. It's constantly changing. You know, the leadership at the campus is always wanting to get the academics out there, and you know, the academics at Lincoln Memorial are just some of the best that I've ever seen. And they're always wanting to put the student athletes first and always help get the student athletes better. As far as the university on the athletic side, you know, we operate as an independent, but all the other sports operate in the South Atlantic Conference, and the sports, the 21, 22 other sports as a whole, typically finish towards the top of the conference in every aspect. And so, you know, the campus, the student body, the professors, the administration, they're always wanting to advance and always wanting to continue to grow and push everybody as far as from students to faculty, everybody. And it's a pretty special place. There's a lot of exciting things happening at the university right now, and to be able to call myself a Railsplitter and be there and help being a part of growing this program, I consider myself incredibly lucky and incredibly fortunate to have this position to lead the Lincoln Memorial University Railsplitters men's volleyball team.
Well, Coach, you may not win a national championship this year, but can you at least agree with me, though, that Railsplitters is the coolest name for any college men's volleyball team?
You know what? I'm starting to hear that a lot. My buddy over at Orange Coast College, we were out there at the showcase in this past December, and he'll tell me, Railsplitters, that's probably the best and the coolest name out there. There's nobody else, there's no other team like that. And everywhere I go, when I'm out recruiting and I'm talking to recruits, they're always saying, "Oh, that's a pretty unique name," and they love the name. And it's a cool mascot, that's for sure. I love walking around and wearing my Railsplitter gear, and it's a sweet little mascot, that's for sure.